dinky little thing. Today I want to talk about effectively planning your goals and the 3 main ingredients that you will need and how this guy is going to help you. Consider this your goal recipe book. Now, I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to want to do all the things all the time, and that ends up with me having a to-do list about a mile long. And I get so discouraged, and that's kind of where I am right now. Well, it's kind of where I always am, but too many things, not enough time. So I am trying to get back to basics, and I've been giving it a lot of thought, and I think for me, goal planning or goal achieving comes down to 3 main things, 3 core things: your what, your why, and your how. So first, your what. What is it that you want? And specifically, like health and loads of money isn't very clear. You need to think, what is health? What do I consider healthy? What does health look like for me? Or what is loads of money? What figure is that? And what form is it in? Is it in property? Is it in a savings account? Is it stocks, investments? Is it cash? What exactly do I really want? And remember that it doesn't have to be this really big thing. It can be something small as well. I have a tendency to have a bit of a go big or go home approach when it comes to goal setting, and sometimes it helps me because it challenges me, it forces me to push, but other times it can leave me feeling a bit overwhelmed. So one of my goals right now is just to catch up on laundry. I'm okay at washing the clothes and drying them, but ironing, folding, putting them away, not so much. So I am going to be working on that. It is very specific, I just have to fold, iron, and put away all of the clothes that are currently in the laundry room, and then thereafter I need to complete a load from start to finish. That means washing, drying, and having everything put away all in the space of a 24-hour period. So that is my what right now. I'm sure yours is very different, but just make sure that it is specific. What exactly? Next then is why. So why do you want it? Why is it important to you? Why should you make it a priority? Why should you make sacrifices for it and work really hard towards it? It's really easy to say, that you want to be healthy. Everyone wants that, but why should you make it a priority right now in your life? Why should it take precedence over everything else that you've got going on? And they have to be really personal whys. So like I said, everyone wants to be healthy, and everyone knows that being healthy is good for you. There are loads of benefits, there are loads of reasons why you should be healthy. But the difference between someone who makes that a priority in their lives and really works towards it and goes all out, and someone who just, thinks that they would like to be healthy but really does nothing about it, is the quality of the why. I have tried for years to give up chocolate. Sometimes I had some kind of moderate success, and there was a period where I managed to give it up for a few months, but the second Christmas after Scout was born, that's when it all changed for me. So I had overindulged as usual, and I felt sick as usual, and I just suddenly thought to myself, I need to stop doing this. I can't go on like this. Something needs to change. I have a child. I can't get diabetes, or best case scenario, be a terrible example to her. I haven't touched chocolate since. So really get to the root of your why and make sure that it is like a deep burning desire, because if it's not, it will be too easy for you to find an excuse not to do it. And if you don't have a burning why, that's okay. Just find yourself another goal. And lastly, the how, because talk is cheap. Anyone can set a goal, but not everyone can achieve it. If you want something to happen, you have to do something about it. So how are you going to achieve the level of fitness you want? How are you going to get your bank balance back in the black? And again, it comes back to specifics. So just saying, you know, I'm going to exercise more and eat vegetables isn't going to cut it. How much exercise? You know, how often? How are you going to move your body exactly? How are you going to gain a muscle? How exactly are you going to make sure that you are eating better? How are you going to track your progress, your workouts, your meals? Or how are you going to earn more money? Or how are you going to save more money? The how is what takes you from thoughts to action, you know, from planning something to actually executing on it, from setting goals to actually achieving them. And the smaller you can make your steps, the more likely that you will take them. So if I tell myself that I am going to lock myself in the laundry room and I'm not coming out until all of the clothes are ironed and folded and all of that, you know, guess how easy it is going to be for me to come up with some excuse not to do it or to procrastinate on it, because, you know, I don't have a whole afternoon that I can just dedicate to laundry. The things we tell ourselves. But if I say, okay, I am going to fold and or iron clothes while I'm watching my favorite TV show, for example, which is on 3 nights a week, you know, that is much more achievable because I'm not sacrificing other time, you know, it's not taking me any extra time, I'm not giving up another activity to do it. It's not taking away from anything else in my life, and it is a very straightforward, specific plan for how I am going to achieve my goal. So, where does this little guy fit into all of this? For me, writing down goals is so important. If I don't have my goals written down, I will forget them, you know, or I will be distracted by something else. So it is much easier to stick to goals if you have them written down, you know, if you have your recipe written down, rather than just trying to rely on random thoughts and good memory. And there are loads of studies that show that people who write down their goals are significantly more successful at achieving them than those who don't. So this is the BLUEBIRD planner, or you could just grab yourself any small notebook. But the thing I really love about this one is that it is specifically geared towards goals. You know, you're not going to look through it and then get distracted with appointments and notes and things like that. And the fact that it is so small, it means that you can carry it with you wherever you go, so you will always have that reminder of what you are working towards. It is broken down into 20 weeks, so you start by setting your goals for the first 10 weeks. Then you break them down by day, so writing down all of those little steps that are going to get you there. Because it's what you do in the day-to-day that's going to add up to the big long-term habits and results. You have a little section at the end of each week to review, and then once you get to the end of the 10 weeks, you do an overall review and you set your goals for the next 10 weeks. Rick, the guy who designed it, asked for my feedback on it and ways that he could improve it. Honestly, the only thing I can think of is maybe extending it to 26 weeks, and that way it would include a whole half year. But that's possibly just my type A tendencies. You know, honestly, that's a very minor thing, and the website is called 20 Weeks, so... Now, how can you get your hands on one? If you go to 20weeks.com, you can pick one up from there. They are $6, and using the code GYST will get you free international shipping. $6 to significantly increase your chance of successfully achieving your goals in the next 20 weeks. Shut up and take my money! Or if you are on a very tight budget and you just can't stretch to $6, you can actually pick up a free printable version of the planner. Same address, 20weeks.com. Honestly though, if you can spare the $6, go for it. The guy didn't ask me to review it or promote it in any way. He just wanted my feedback on it so that he could help more people. I like that. Nice work, Rick. The reason the goals are weighing so heavily on my mind right now is because the week after next I am going to be putting up a video on mid-year reviews. So yes, it is mid-year, it is time to reevaluate everything. So I'm going to be talking about how I do my mid-year review and sharing some tips with you on how you can get the most out of it and how you can help yourself stay on track towards your resolutions or annual goals or whatever you want to call them. And I'm going to be using this little guide to keep myself on track towards my goals for the second half of the year. In the meantime, if goal setting is your jam, then check out my playlist that is dedicated to it. If you are not currently smashing your goals, you soon will be. Until next time, go grab yourself one of these. Remember the code GYST gets you free international shipping. Slán! This is Polly, by the way. She's a cat pam, and I love her.